Louisville, Kentucky, home of Louisville City FC and officially home of the 2017 USL Eastern Conference regular season champions, as the Purples will host the Charlotte Independents in the third and final meeting between these two sides in 2017. Tyler Terrence, along with the incomparable Devin Kerr here at Slugger Field. Glad to have you with us on this beautiful Saturday evening, and Devin will jump right into it. The playoff pictures for both sides. As we mentioned, Louisville City have everything wrapped up in the Eastern Conference, but on the other side, the Charlotte Independents desperately fighting for points and trying to get that home playoff spot.
Well, I think both squads first and foremost want to regain that excellent form they've had, especially in the midseason with the streaks that they've done, so they can go into the playoffs with that momentum. Charlotte could drop as low as 6, could also jump back into form, jump up to number 2 position. So a lot to play out in the final couple days and games that are going to go on over the next week and a half.
With 3 points and a Rochester loss or draw, they can clinch that spot. And for Charlotte, obviously their man is going to be Enzo Martinez tonight.
Well, and Enzo Martinez, another one who's not in form. And, you know, Charlotte's skidding because of the fact that he hasn't been able to put things away. But he can beat you in so many different areas, from the set pieces to the corners, obviously in and out of tight spaces. He's chasing down Dane Kenley for that Golden Boot Award. 16 goals and 5 assists on the season, and they're going to need him tonight and need him early.
And on the other side of the ball for James O'Connor, a man who's just been in great form the entire season. Big stature, big presence on the field, Luke Spencer.
Very stereotypical, prototypical forward that you're going to get up top. Balls played into his feet, played down into the channel, off the corner kick, off the set piece. Solid forward.
And here is a starting 11 for Mike Jeffries tonight. They have a couple of different changes. Jaime Siage filling in for David Estrada, Enzo Martinez sliding in behind Jorge Herrera, and obviously June Marquez Davidson still trying to get back into form after a nagging hamstring injury.
Well, and Charlotte's going to be very methodical for the most part, move the ball, very stereotypical soccer that you're going to see in and out. A lot of ball movement, a lot of possession, but again, all the possession and shots don't mean anything if you're not putting goals away.
Joel Johnson and Austin Yearwood, the fullbacks tonight for Mike Jeffries, as usual. On the other side for James O'Connor, 3 players, Ranjit Singh, Speedy Williams, and Mark Anthony Kay, all on international duty. A couple of guys getting an opportunity tonight.
And a little bit different of a formation than you're going to see on Charlotte's side. You're going to see Oscar Jimenez and Kyle Smith on the outside as wingbacks, getting up and down the pitch. Very capable back line. I think they're probably one of the best in the league, but that being said, both squads looking to get back to form, get into playoffs, and head in the right direction.
George Davis, the 4th, and Niall McCabe joining Luke Spencer up top. Third and final meeting between these two sides of the season. 1-1 on the season. Who will take home the season series? We'll have the answers when we come back.
During Ram Power Days at Kentuckiana's #1 Dodge Ram dealer, Commonwealth Dodge Ram. Choose from hundreds of tough Ram trucks, like a 2017 Ram 1500 for $21,970 or buy for $289 a month. Busy? We'll bring the test drive to you. Go to CommonwealthDodge.com.
Hi, my name is Susan Rademacher. I'm one of our HR managers here at the Louisville Specialty Center. Parallon is one of the healthcare industry's leading providers in revenue recovery. We need a lot of people to help us do that, and that's why we need you.
What I really like about working with this company is that we've been voted for Kentucky's best places to work 10 years in a row, and it's because of the culture that we have at our location.
We value your opinion, and we push to promote from within. We work hard, and we have fun.
Sometimes your eyes can get bigger than your wallet. But at Checkers and Rallies, getting your hands on a quarter-pound of juicy all-white meat chicken dippers with a bed of famous seasoned fries for only $2 just takes fishing for a little loose change. The quarter-pound chicken dippers and fries box for just $2. Checkers and Rallies,
the official burger of the Louisville Cardinals.
There's a new TV show here in Louisville you need to check out. It's Hey Kentucky. But you know the NCAA, they're going to make something. It's going to be like an Abraham Isaac sacrifice.
Hey Kentucky, we are here in Nashville at the George Jones Museum with the possum and some people behind us, and we're going to talk about the UK game.
Here's what we do. We talk about all the news of the state. That includes Kentucky basketball, but also politics, entertainment. Whatever's going on, we give it to you. 10 o'clock every night, WBNA, Channel 21.
Sustainable and toxic-free building supply, everything you can imagine for the inside of your home.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll invest $100,000 in your company.
Don't miss Season 3 of Dream Funders.
Score big at Commonwealth Dodge Ram. A new 17 Journey, just $16,970, or buy for $215 a month. A 2017 Durango SXT, only $29,995, or lease for $289 a month. Commonwealth Dodge Ram, right on Preston and always right on the price.
Moments away from kickoff here at Slugger Field between the Purples, who have officially clinched the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs in the postseason, and the Charlotte Independents right now, who are struggling to find points and to find the back of the net. Thanks for joining us here on this beautiful Saturday evening. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, and just a few moments ago, a moment of silence for the mass shooting in Las Vegas, and obviously our thoughts and prayers going out to all of those affected by the shooting. All right, again, Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. And Devin, what an interesting match we have here tonight. Charlotte have dropped points in their last 4 matches, 3 losses, a draw, haven't scored a goal in 271 minutes. And on the other side, a team who's playing with house money, Louisville City, have obviously clinched the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Well, and Charlotte are just going to hope things aren't going to go from bad to worse this evening, running into this train that is the #1 seed in Louisville. And, you know, I honestly think that this is going to be a great representation of what we're going to see from both squads going forward, because in Louisville's situation, you almost think that they would be coming out of the tunnel with a totally revamped team, rest their starters, this, that, and the other, but they're not. They're going for it. They've got pretty much their starting 11 for the most part, as we talked about, a couple guys away on international duty, but they're pushing numbers, and they're going to go with some regulars. Charlotte, hey, they came to play. They've got their squad too. So again, both squads not backing down from this. Charlotte's got to get points, and look, there's a lot of games going on right now. You and I are checking out the match center, and you know, Rochester up 2-0 over Pittsburgh, so they're looking to move their way up the table. And again, Charlotte could go as low as 6th, as high as 2, but first and foremost, you know, 90 minutes tonight, go in, get the job done, figure out what you have to do tomorrow.
Absolutely, and James O'Connor, of course, saying that it's performance-based as we are underway here from Slugger Field. Glad to have you with us. And in our conversation with James O'Connor, he said that this whole season really has been about performance. They haven't been setting goals, haven't been looking to that end of the season sort of, you know, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, if you will, but they've just been hoping that their performance week in and week out, if they continue to get better, continue to play solid football, that the honors will come with that, and seemingly that's been the case.
Well, and I think if you go through just statistically, look, they've played, we're in our 31st game right now, they've played 30. They've only lost 6 times. I mean, I think if you gave any coach that opportunity at the beginning of the season, they'd be more than happy with that. Plus 24 goal differential. I mean, they're just across the board. They're pushing numbers forward. They're very stingy at the back, and I think they're a side to be reckoned with in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and we obviously do have a couple changes in the Louisville roster tonight, and as we mentioned before, 3 players getting called up for international duty, and that is quite an honor for a team, and it just seems like James O'Connor is so proud of his boys and being able to put in effort week in and week out in training, and feeling like the intense training environment has not only translated to wins and points in the USL, but it's translated into better opportunities for his guys with their respective countries.
Well, and how many squads, number 1, have their players that are able to step into opportunities like that? Number 2, how many squads have the ability to pull guys off the bench that can just slide right into that system and not miss a beat whatsoever? Louisville's very lucky they have both.
Absolutely, those 3 on international duty. Speedy Williams for Jamaica, Greg Ranjitsing for Trinidad and Tobago, and Mark Anthony Kay for Canada, as there's an early foul in the middle of the park, and our referee for tonight is Lucas Spapala. And Jorge Herrera just checking on Tarek Murad, who's getting the start tonight. Tarek Murad, the only member of the Louisville City team who has not scored yet this season, and he has an opportunity to do so tonight.
We talked about statistics. How big is that one? Every single player has put something away. I mean, again, it's just crazy to watch coming down the stretch. And, you know, Louisville, I think this could be their year. You know, a lot of people talk about the West, but don't sleep on the East. There is a boatload of talent coming out of here. And look, they deserve the #1 seed for sure.
Charlotte right off the bat obviously going to pressure in that Louisville back line, that 3-4-3, which has been so crucial for them and has really proved to give teams a really difficult time. And it's interesting to see a team who has 3 backs but is so stout defensively and gives teams troubles in terms of putting the ball in the back of their own net.
Well, watching them play last week in the Rochester game, I actually had the opportunity to call it. And, you know, unfortunately going forward offensively, there wasn't really a lot going on. But defensively, like you said, they're just stout, very stingy at the back, and it was impressive to see their wingbacks get up and down the pitch. Oscar Jimenez was all over the place at one point in time, moving so far forward, and then the next thing you know, with 5 minutes to go in the game, made arguably a game-saving save where he slid across and stopped the goal. It was going into the back of the net for sure. So he was my vote for man of the match, and just going forward, their back line is extremely impressive.
Almost got through for Luke Spencer. A little bit of a frantic start here at Slugger Field. Enzo Martinez can't latch on to that, and Enzo Martinez has really been one of the talking points in the United Soccer League. 16 goals on the season. He was neck and neck with Dane Kelly for the Golden Boot race, but for the moment, Louisville trying to work their way through. It'll go all the way back to Cody Mizell, but back to Enzo Martinez. This is a guy who some might argue could be up for USL MVP. Obviously, their form has dropped, and that might lessen his argument, but he's been so important for Charlotte. He's been so impressive, but he's hit sort of a road bump with the rest of his team.
Well, interestingly enough, an MVP candidate last year with only 9 goals, and now we're sitting at 16 with 2 games left to play. Obviously, we're in the second to last one right now, and you know, Dane Kelly decided he was going to downshift and push himself into overdrive, and he jumped up. I believe he's sitting on 18, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Hoffman is right there as well. But again, with Enzo, I think sometimes scorers just go through a drought with confidence. I don't necessarily think he's lacking confidence. He just lacks the precision. He's getting the opportunities, and the goals will come. And I think with him, once they come, the floodgates are going to open.
Well, the Charlotte team is coming off of a brutal 1-0 loss to FC Cincinnati. Here's Louisville on the move. Good challenge from Joel Johnson, but an even better one from Gaia Bend in the middle of the park. Purples will maintain possession. Kyle Smith out wide, working on Austin Yearwood. Here's the one-touch shot from McCabe. It wasn't a bad idea, and Mizell was sprawled off of his line, but good movement from Louisville early on.
Yeah, much better from the boys going forward for sure. That's the most spark I've seen out of them tonight in general. Yet last week, 90 minutes, didn't see any of that whatsoever. So nice to see them get out of the gates early in the first 5 minutes and start pushing forward.
And back to Charlotte. They're coming off of that 1-0 loss against FC Cincinnati, where they just had so many chances, so many sitters right in front of goal that they could have put away. And we'll take another look at this opportunity here. Good vision from Kyle Smith to find McCabe, and almost was able to pull it off.
And we talked about those defenders getting up high on the pitch from the outside, swinging great balls in. Decides he's going to play a little solo game, knocks a nice ball across. Unfortunately, McCabe kind of whiffed it a little bit, going for that upper corner. But again, good ingenuity going forward so far.
Again, our head referee for tonight, Lucas Zapala. Cody Mizell between the sticks for Charlotte. He's been the mainstay back there for Mike Jeffries. Has played essentially almost every game, with the exception of a couple. On loan from the Colorado Rapids. Very strong goalkeeper, very strong shot stopper, and confident coming off of his line, but just has been on the bad side of a couple of 1-0, 1-1 results that have seen this Charlotte team fall from what looked like a locked up second place in the Eastern Conference, and they're in danger of not even hosting a playoff game now.
Well, and it's crazy, and again, we'll reference the statistics again. If you go back and look, don't look at the score, just look at the stats of each game they've played in. You know, last game coming out 20 shots on goal versus FC Cincinnati's 6, yet they go down 1-0. They probably carried somewhere around 60 or 65% possession, still losing 1-0. So again, you can play the best game and the most impressive 90 minutes, but goals win games at the end of the day.
Charlotte did have an opportunity to tie up the game in stoppage time, but if it's a penalty kick against Mitch Hildebrandt, you know, he's probably going to be the favorite 9 times out of 10. And he proved exactly why, stopping Jorge Herrera's penalty. And Jorge Herrera is another guy, along with Enzo Martinez, who's really disappeared, not only the past couple weeks in their bad stretch, but Jorge Herrera is a guy who was in the Golden Boot race, still technically is with 12 goals, but he hasn't scored since July 29th. I mean, this is a guy we were praising for basically being the Benjamin Button of the USL, just getting better with age, and he's just completely disappeared at the end of the season when his team needs him the most.
Yeah, the 37-year-old Colombian, like you said, 12 goals, 5 assists on the season, hadn't scored in 2.5 months, yet still involved in that conversation.
Here's Kyle Smith again working on Yearwood. Smith trying to get it across. Did it take a deflection is the question. And the answer is yes. It'll be the first corner of the evening for Louisville.
And you know what, Tyler, going back to the Charlotte conversation, I think with them, again, they just had so many opportunities and point-blank opportunities. So you got to wonder what's kind of going on behind the scenes, because I don't think they're lacking confidence. Just eventually something's going to slide, a switch is going to flip, lightning isn't going to continue to miss them, and it will strike.
Purples with an opportunity here. Oscar Jimenez on top of the corner. So good for them defensively and offensively throughout the entire season. It's not a bad ball in. Mizell stays on his line. There was an opportunity there, but the header couldn't get any further, and it'll come out the other way.
Some questionable questionable defending by Charlotte there as our head referee Lucas Zabala is going to blow the whistle. Little tussle in the middle of the box. Paco Craig got free on the zone defending as that ball was swung in, trying to go against the grain versus Cody Mizell.
Paco Craig, a guy who's up for USL Defender of the Year, one of the 5 nominees. Certainly been dangerous off set pieces and been part of one of the stingiest defenses in the USL. Lewis Hilton shaking that off. English native has filled in nicely for June Marquez Davidson, but he's a guy who this is a side has really missed. And talking with Mike Jeffries, June Marquez Davidson, a veteran at his very core, 33 years old, originally from Japan, and he just does such a good job at the middle of the park slowing things down for this Charlotte team. And he was really the engine that made them go, that allowed them to keep the ball. And he's been missing for a few weeks, and you can tell from the results that they've been missing him.
Yeah, June Marquez Davidson dealing with that hamstring issue, and was actually questionable coming to the match tonight. We were wondering as to whether or not he was going to get the nod for the starting lineup. Unfortunately not, and like you said, veteran leadership, 34 years old, played all over the world.
Decent ball sent in towards the back post. Smith trying to keep it in. He does. Will come back out. Kaya Ben bending it in behind, looking for Luke Spencer, but that one goes over the line. And Louisville City early on with sustained pressure, and we haven't even played 10 minutes yet.
Well, I'm surprised Tarek Moret cut that ball back there. It looked like he had a little bit of space in front of him. Thought maybe he would have let that ball, or excuse me, let his touch from the ball go in front of him and have a shot on goal, but decided to cut it back. And again, Louisville, like you said, first 10 minutes, hasn't really been in their defending third for the most part. You're going to get another look, ball laid back, and a Ben trying to go to the back stick for Spencer. And Spencer just not on the same page.
See there, Charleston Battery and Romaro Williams and company taking on Mendoza and Harrisburg City, up 2-0 at the moment. And with the scores around the Eastern Conference right now, Rochester still up 2-0 on Pittsburgh. I mean, this becomes it was already a must-win situation, but if you're Charlotte, on the Charlotte side of things, you're maybe hoping in the back of your mind that those teams might not pick up a result tonight, but now that it looks like they are, you have to get 3 points.
Well, I mean, you want to secure a top 4 finish. You want to get that home playoff game. And, you know, remove the points from the situation in the scenario for a second. You just want to win. Forget the points, because you do not – they're going to go to the playoffs, and we know that. And we know that they're a phenomenal squad who's going to move the ball around and do a good job maintaining possession, put on a show for everyone. But you don't want to go into the playoffs with your head down and your tail tucked in between your legs going, what if, because that's going to affect your play going forward. And that's where Charlotte's at right now.
And on the flip side for Louisville, you know, this is a team who is really taking everything in stride. You know, James O'Connor isn't resting everybody. He doesn't really have the option. He only has 16 men on his roster due to a bunch of international guys off on their international duties. But, you know, this is a team who is keeping that mentality on par, and they're going to continue to go with these guys and maintain form heading into the playoffs, because they, just like you said, they don't want to drop form right at the most important part of the season. They want to continue to build chemistry, continue to work on things that have maybe dropped their 6 games this season and try to tighten things up heading down the stretch.
Well, and I think that that's an important thing to recognize, is that O'Connor's not shying away from the challenge. And like you said, limited roster in general, guys away on international duty. Cameron Lancaster still dealing with a fractured toe issue, you know, but them coming down the stretch, although they're sitting up top, as we get another look here, and oh, took a little whack, ball to the face. I don't think his cleat got up that high. It was a deflection off the ball itself. Yeah. And then, you know, now McCabe just making sure that everybody knows he's on the pitch and here to be friends. He wants to make friends this evening. But, you know, going back to Louisville, they're not exactly lighting up the charts coming home. They're getting results, but in their previous 5 games, they've got a win, a loss, and 3 ties. So again, they're not on a downward spiral as Charlotte has been, because at least they're putting up points and results, and they are the #1 seed. But for James O'Connor and his squad, they'd like to secure something.
Spencer threw for Smith, but Mizell off of his line. Good work there from Cody Mizell, who sniffed out the situation just before it could go from bad to worse. Looking to operate quickly, Joel Johnson. He's another defender who's nominated for USL Defender of the Year. So we have 2 out of the 5 on the pitch at the moment. Joel Johnson has been so important, not only to the Charlotte defense, which has done a decent job at times this year. They have been prone to making mistakes at the back, but Joel Johnson has provided so many things offensively for this Charlotte side and getting forward and getting your outside backs involved that it's hard to ignore him in the conversation.
Well, when you talk about, you know, their back line especially when I'm going to compare him to Louisville. Obviously, it's relevant at this point in time. I think the biggest difference between the two is I think Louisville City, they're better two-way players. I think Charlotte has a backline who can defend, and I think they have individuals who can get forward. But I think that they struggle to consistently be able to do both. Like you said, Joel Johnson, very talented, can get up and down, but he struggles on the defensive side of things at times. I can't really make that argument for Louisville. You know, they're just so stout in every aspect at every position.
Well, they do have a bit of a problem to deal with right now. Decent free kick opportunity for Charlotte. Lewis Hilton on top of it. It's not a bad ball in from Hilton. There's Kalungi rising for the header, but he couldn't get there. Great opportunity. Excuse me, that was Austin Yearwood, but just couldn't get the timing down.
When we talked about the zone marking before, I think Louisville was just guilty of it as well, as they just let him slip to the back post. And interestingly enough, yeah, I think it does come off his shoulder there. He did not get off his head. But even Dobrovolsky took a look at it. No issues whatsoever. I mean, he was a cool customer in that situation.
Dobrovolsky, of course, getting the start tonight. Greg Ranjetsing on duty with Trinidad and Tobago. And really, all the newspapers in the Louisville area have just been praising Tim Dobrovolsky and his attitude the whole season. Ranjitsing has clearly won the starting position with Louisville, and a lot of guys said in their experience in professional soccer that a lot of the times the number 2 guy is going to be a bit more shy, a bit more reserved, but that Dobrovolsky has such a great personality, is such an extrovert that he's taken it in stride, and any opportunity that he gets, he runs with it, and he's getting a great one here tonight.
Yeah, very friendly, very outgoing, not lacking for confidence whatsoever, and that's great for this back line too, because, you know, like you said, your mainstay is gone on international duty, and a lot of times you're going to go, okay, great. Now so-and-so's got to step in, or so-and-so's got to step in. But like you said, Tyler, Dobrovolsky, loved by this team, loved by this community, and I'm sure they're going to love him a lot more going forward.
Referee brings this one back. He was trying to play advantage, but Luke Spencer got caught up. George Davis, the 4th, taking a knock there.
You're going to see ball played into George Davis, and as he just tries to play the little 1-2 into Luke Spencer, late tackle coming in.
Bilal Duckett, the culprit there, the former Notre Dame Irishman. Louisville will elect to play short here. Here is Spencer trying to get around Lewis Hilton, but that's good defending from the Englishman. However, Charlotte give it away in their own area. Jimenez looking to link up with Spencer once more. There's a shot from well beyond 18 yards, and Cody Mizell handles that easily.
Maybe a little bit too aggressive, but hey, you don't shoot, you don't score. Not the end of the world, but impressive by Louisville after the turnover to turn around and press high right away and win the ball back almost immediately.
This portion of tonight's broadcast is presented by official partner Sullivan University. Gaia Bend. Just trying to clip it forward, hoping for Niall McCabe. Charlotte's back line deals with it for the moment, and then Alex Martinez tripped up in the middle of the park. Gaia Bend sprinting over to the head referee to make his case, but I'd say it's usually 100% efficiency rate in terms of players not being able to reverse the call with an argument.
Hard to believe that I actually thought I had actually reversed the call back in the day, but unfortunately, no. Like you said, referees aren't really going to have that.
It's Callum Ross.
It's funny how an arguing center back isn't going to get a decision switched his way.
Kyle Smith, bit of a sloppy first touch. Alex Martinez trying to send it up for Jorge Herrera, but eventually cleared away. Henry Kalungi being pressured by McCabe. Decent flick on from Alex Martinez. Of course, he's fresh off his 4-game suspension. He's played a couple of games now off the bench and then starting the last one against FC Cincinnati. Enzo trying to turn in the middle, gets tripped up, and Devin, you're shaking your head a little soft there.
Yeah, I think Lucas Apala was a little quick to blow his whistle in that situation. Again, referees are obviously going to have an impact on the game, but when you blow a cheap whistle like that, in my opinion, you're 25 yards out, you know, roughly around 30. I mean, the touch is in front of him. He almost gets caught up. You're bouncing off the player. I mean, the ball gets caught up underneath his own feet and then just kind of uses his momentum to go to ground. I just don't think you can give up a call like that.
It is a veteran play, though, from Enzo Martinez. I mean, he knows exactly what's happening and that he's going to have contact. It's just a matter of going down and selling it properly to the referee, and the referee bought it.
100%. You just shift your momentum a little bit, go down, and 9 times out of the 10, the referee probably is going to blow the whistle there, unfortunately.
So now it's a very dangerous free kick opportunity for the Independents. Jorge Herrera's on top of it. And now Alex Martinez with some theatrics, maybe trying to get Guy Abend in some trouble. And it looks like Alex Martinez trying to take on the entire Louisville City back line and then some. Enzo Martinez, his brother. Enzo, the older of the two, just by about 10 or 11 months. Take another look as to exactly what happens.
Yeah, Alex Martinez, again, another one selling it a little bit there. I get it, he gets a little whack on the back of the head. Why we have to go to ground, I'm not really sure. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Lucas Zabala might have just gone into his book there for Guy Abend.
I think it's unnecessary on both parties' ends. I mean, I think there's no need for Guy Abend to do that, and Alex Martinez made a meal out of it.
Agreed, and I think the biggest argument you'll hear about the Martinez brothers is their emotion. It's both positive and negative when it comes to their games.
And after all this, we'll eventually restart, and it'll be with a Jorge Herrera free kick. Lewis Hilton is in the neighborhood as well. Herrera has scored from this distance already this season. Hasn't scored since July 29th. It is going to be Hilton. He takes a slip. Still problems to deal with for Louisville. They're asking for a handball. Alex Martinez trying to get on the end of it. He will. The double team comes. Alex will win a corner. And the first corner of the evening for the Independents.
And you can see most of the guys on Louisville barking back at the referee again. They just need to remain calm, chill out. Not every call is going to go your way, and you don't want to get caught up in the game with the Martinez brothers arguing back and forth, because then it's going to get in your psyche and it's going to start to push your game into a negative direction. See some friendly sportsmanship shared.
Guy Abend was issued a yellow card. Charlotte going short on the corner, a little design set piece. Alex back for Enzo. Enzo with a beautiful ball in towards the back post. There's the header from Ross. And it just goes wide. Straight from the training ground from Mike Jeffries, and almost ended up paying off dividends.
And I'm giving all the praise in the world to Louisville's back line, but on 2 restarts so far, that you can see them kind of lost in la-la land. Those balls are being swung in. Nice little calculated set piece by Charlotte, something they've definitely practiced before, and you see it swung into the back post, and most of the boys in purple just kind of meandering. As you see Callum Ross coming in hard.
However, one of the main things that Mike Jeffries did say about the Martinez brothers is, despite how often they get involved with the referees and the opposing teams, and even the opposing fans for that matter, is that they do a great job of doing that and then jumping right back into the game and not letting it affect them.
Well, I was a player growing up who unfortunately didn't acquire that emotional maturity until later in my career.
Jaime Siage trying to get around the Louisville back line, and it is going to be a foul against the Purples again. Enzo Martinez asking that there should be a yellow card involved, and Paco Craig is down and he is bleeding. So medical attention is going to be waved on immediately. That's the last thing James O'Connor, anybody with Louisville, wants, is to have a player injured the second to last game of the regular season.
I'll tell you what, Tyler, Lucas Zabala has to be careful here now, because twice in the span of 4 minutes, we've had 2 pretty emotional fouls that have taken place, and you can see them barking back and forth at each other as your head referee is going to go over and have a word with his second official. But going back to the emotional comments, most players don't possess the capability to kind of overheat, if you will, and then bring themselves back to square one. The Martinez brothers do. Few and far between, it will push them over the board, but they tend to be able to utilize it in a positive manner, as you're going to get another look here.
Ooh, sort of just an inadvertent whack of the face from Jaime Siage.
Yeah, Siage just trying to make a move in, actually got the ball around the defender, and just as he turned, a flailing hand to Paco Craig. I think it got it right in the nose. As you can see, they're just going to patch him up, get him back out on the pitch. There was nothing malicious about it whatsoever, though. He wasn't trying to do anything bad there.
Paco Craig will have to step off for the moment. And now James O'Connor can't believe what he's just seen, as it looks like there's going to be a yellow card issued again to Louisville. Now it's just a matter of who. And it's going to be Sean Tosh who picks up mustard now here in the 23rd. And this is certainly gotten the Louisville crowd riled up here at Slugger Field. Very interesting start to this one. It's been physical, but at the same time, a couple of phantom calls, and James O'Connor certainly not happy with the ensuing incidents over the past few minutes or so.
Well, it's frustrating for the players as well. Outside of the antics, there's no ebb and flow to the game. So you're 22 minutes in and you felt like the main whistle just blew 2 seconds ago. So too many starts and stops, and you're going to hope the thing starts heading in a better direction in the next couple minutes. Louisville's got to do a better job, though. Keep your heads in the game, remove the emotion, stay cool, stay calm. Try not to let all those variables affect you, because you're going to end up in the situation you're in right now. Unfortunately, they've now collected 2 yellow cards in the past couple minutes, and just relax, settle down, play your own game.
And both of them to key players in the middle of the park, both Gaia Bend and Sean Tosh on yellows now. Lewis Hilton on top of the free kick again. Another great ball. Callum Ross trying to get there, but it's just out of his reach.
It's been impressive, the distribution from Charlotte so far on their set pieces, and the design play they had coming off of the corner a few minutes ago. And that's the only thing you want to question too, is when you do have the goalkeeper change, regardless of the physical capabilities, you have to realize that that's a huge leadership role no matter what when you've got another goalkeeper coming in. So when Ranjetsing's gone, Dobrovolsky's got to come in, make sure that, although extremely talented and upbeat, he's got to make sure he stays vocal enough and stays in connection with his back line and keeps them organized.
Dangerous challenge from Gaia Bend, just having picked up a yellow card. Charlotte trying to keep it. Louisville comes away with it. Great move there from George Davis IV. Able to put it through the Charlotte's defender's legs, and inching their way up the field, Kyle Smith. Through for Smith once more. Yearwood with a good recovery. Niall McCabe off of Bilal Duckett, and it'll be a corner for Louisville once more.
A great ball down into the corner, and how about Austin Yearwood? Credit to him, great defending, backtracking as the ball gets played down in the channel. I thought that thing was going to be whipped across the box for sure. Excellent job tracking back.
That's the dangerous thing about this Louisville team, is that those outside wingbacks provide so much width, and you think you're done when you're dealing with McCabe, Spencer, and George Davis IV, and then you have Jimenez and Smith providing that ultimate width. Corner comes in. It's towards the back post. Henrik Kalunga gets there first, and it is going to be a push in the back and coming out the other way.
And I think that might have been Paco Craig on the back post, just coming back onto the pitch, trying to get a friendly little nudge. Referee had it. Wasn't going to let that fly.
Jaime Siach dispossessed in a dangerous area. Louisville looking to punish them. McCabe. Smith again providing the width. Paolo Di Piccolo. George Davis IV. Going to take on Siach, beats the first defender. Great movement from Louisville on and off the ball. Return pass for George Davis IV, just out of his reach. A good defensive pressure from Oscar Jimenez. He'll be able to keep it for Louisville. He'll eventually go over the byline, and a goal kick for Charlotte.
In the first 10 minutes, we saw Louisville sprint out of the gates. They're pushing numbers forward, getting down in the attacking final third. Then things cooled off a little bit. Almost like sparring partners in a boxing ring, going back and forth, little jabs here and there, and no one landing any big major blows, and Louisville has now come back again, pushing numbers forward. And how crisp and clean has their possession been. Very impressive by the boys in purple.
Well, it's one of the things that's so impressive about this Louisville side, is that they can beat you 2 different ways. They can beat you by route 1, because they have one of the biggest and the most effective strikers in the USL, and Luke Spencer, just in terms of being able to hold the ball up. But then they're so classy and so composed in the final third, they can break you down just like Charlotte can with straight possession.
When you see the ball flowing left and right.
Is Spencer onside? Nope. Flag is up on the near side.
You're going to get a quick restart from Charlotte there. Very smart, as most of the Louisville fans looking to lobby with the referee. But again, there's another representation. You see the ball going from side to side, ball coming out of the back. Very well done. Good transition from the defensive third to the attacking third. Luke Spencer just unfortunate, couldn't hold up his run a little bit longer.
Charlotte struggling to get out of their own end. Louisville continuing to put the clamps down. Martinez able to win a throw-in for the Purples. Guy bent. Stripped by Lewis Hilton. Charlotte looking for some sort of sign of life. Yearwood tackled from behind by Smith, and it's another foul, much to the dismay of the fans here at Slugger Field, and it's another yellow card, and this time it's for Kyle Smith, who shows some good sportsmanship, helping Austin Yearwood up after the tackle.
Yeah, the two defenders having a nice little 50-50 there. Again, Lucas Apala very precise with his decisions, going straight for his yellow card. As you can see, James O'Connor not happy with that decision, and how could you be? You've got three of your arguably most important players on your team that have taken yellow cards so far. Maybe the first two a little bit iffy, but that one definitely not whatsoever. As Austin Yearwood trying to push forward, and looks like he actually might have had Smith beat. And Smith going to ground, picking up the yellow card.
Well, Charlotte had a couple of decent opportunities from the free kick early on, but they've more so tried to set players up rather than going for goal. But you have to imagine they're going to put something on frame here.
And you have so many players who are so talented, and how do you tell an Enzo or an Alex, no, you can't hit this? But I agree with this, Jorge Herrera. You're probably going to see him go for the near post here.
The Colombian tried to keep it low, or maybe just scuffed it all together, but either way, Louisville able to deal with another Charlotte set piece, and the Independents will have to start over.
Interestingly enough, it's the second time we've seen something on the dead ball there and before, coming off of the set piece right at the top of the box where a player has lost his footing. So you got to wonder exactly what's going down on the pitch, dealing with the environment that they're used to.
Luke Spencer giving chase. Step for step with Henry Kalungi. Spencer just muscling Yearwood off the ball. Back for Spencer. He had a runner on the near side. It falls for Smith. Mizell is able to keep it out. Still loose. What a save from Cody Mizell. USL Save of the Week nominee for sure.
How does Luke Spencer not see that run earlier? Yeah, that's a foul for sure. Louisville looking to play quick. Once again, very impressive by Louisville going forward. Luke Spencer turns the ball over, wins it back right away.
Could be on here again for Louisville. Sent across, Henry Kalungi with a great effort, but Louisville City are knocking on the door.
And I'll tell you what, as Luke Spencer won that ball back, he turned, opened up his body. You'll see right here, Kyle Smith streaking on the right-hand side, and only by deflection does it make its way to his feet. I think if Luke Spencer plays that ball in the first time, Kyle Smith slots that away for sure, and they'd be up 1-0.
It's amazing how that ball still ended up perfectly in his path, though, even though it was the complete opposite direction. Jimenez, Mizell off of his line, comes with strong fists. And so Martinez brings it down with a deft touch. Maybe one too many touches, though, stripped by Del Piccolo. Former Louisville Cardinal trying to bend it in behind the defense. Bilal Duckett cuts it out. Center back striding forward. Herrera. Much better from Charlotte. Comes out wide for Austin Yearwood. Callum Ross trying to shield off Kyle Smith. Good work from the Wingate University product. Clips it towards the backside. Great ball for Joel Johnson, the Spaniard. Back for Siage, trying to go through Gayaben, but that isn't going to fly, and Louisville City looking to operate on the counter at the other end.
Well, this is exactly what they're going to have to do if they're going to continue to have success with Charlotte. Charlotte's mainstay is to hold possession, you know, create continuity throughout the entire squad, and they're not able to do that because Louisville's holding them up. They're containing possession, and they're pushing numbers forward, and you can see it's frustrating the back line.
McCabe trying to get on the end of it. Good recovery speed there from Yearwood. McCabe still giving chase, and Yearwood will send it the other way. Does a lot of that have to do with the tactical differences with these two sides? I mean, Louisville obviously has a lot of numbers in the middle of the field playing a 3-4-3.
I think some of it could come into play. I think directly in this situation, anytime that you take a team off of its game plan, and we all know what Charlotte's is, they want to hold possession and move the ball up the pitch, and they're going to go slow, and then they're eventually going to push numbers.
Kyle Smith threads the needle for McCabe, but his first touch a bit too heavy.
And what happens over the course of time, and in this situation, about a 10-minute to 12-minute spell for Louisville, is that Charlotte gets thrown off their game and they get frustrated because you're playing chase the entire time. You waste so much energy trying to backtrack and win the ball that when you go forward, you're almost discombobulated and you don't have that ability to maintain that precision from pass to pass.
Enzo Martinez with a good turn. This is the way he likes to play, through the legs of Del Piccolo. Gets taken down outside of the box, and it's another foul.
Sean Toach has got to be real careful sitting on that yellow card. He's definitely the one who committed that foul.
Well, you have three very defensive-minded players in Kyle Smith, Sean Toach, and Gaia Bend all sitting on yellow cards. Take another look at the nifty work from Enzo Martinez.
Yeah, Enzo Martinez right through the 5-hole before, makes a nice little move around Sean Toach, and Toach just stepping in. Unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with that quickness and then acceleration from Enzo Martinez. So dangerous in those spaces.
So now another free kick. I mean, this has to be the third or fourth free kick inside of 20 yards for Charlotte, and at some point you have to make good on it.
Well, you know, Hilton hit the first one. That's where he slipped and kind of skyrocketed it. Herrera went on the second one. The third one, they played the fun little game and knocked it into the back post. So I think from this distance between who's sitting on the ball, I'd be very surprised if they had to go with the angles they're dealing with. You would expect a left footer to be over the ball.
Well, the only lefty on the field for Charlotte right now is Austin Yearwood, but he probably isn't technical enough to be able to hit it from that range.
Exactly. So maybe quick little touch and play combination, maybe a touch start go or a ball to the back post.
Hilton looks like he was going for goal, straight into the wall. Another free kick opportunity wasted for Charlotte, but look at the work from Jorge Herrera to try to keep it in play, but it'll eventually be a Louisville City throw-in.
Yeah, I think that's a little advantageous, on Charlotte's part. I mean, you're sitting 26, 27 yards out. Shift it onto the right side of the field, and you're going to try and beat Dobrovolsky to the near post. That's a difficult shot and a difficult task.
Almost 35 minutes played here at Slugger Field. Tyler Terrens along with Devin Kerr. Glad to have you with us here on a beautiful Saturday evening. 2017 regular season Eastern Conference champs trying to continue their form. Charlotte still scrambling to somehow, some way find 3 points. Joel Johnson absolutely destroys George Davis IV in the middle of the park. You have to imagine that's got to be a yellow card, given the way that the rest of the match has gone. And you have to think that he's going to go back retroactively now.
And Lucas Zapala calling the player over. You got to wonder how he doesn't show the card there. I agree with you, Tyler, because you're going to see as the touch comes in front of him, Joel Johnson just lays him out with the forearm right to the back, possibly even caught his neck there. And I feel like if you're the referee, if you're going to show it one way, you got to be even and show it on the other. He didn't, though.
Mizell off of his line. Lucas Zapala, not exactly a fan favorite here at Slugger Field at the moment. Callum Ross through a couple defenders. Taken down from behind, this time by George Davis IV, and now he's going to get the yellow card.
And that's a bad tackle by George Davis. I think that's frustration on his part, coming off of what just happened a few minutes ago. A few seconds, I should say. I think everybody just needs to settle down and get back to the match at hand. You can see everybody having a word with the ref, but look, you guys got to get back to basics, get back to the game. Don't let it affect you. As George Davis coming in late, coming in from behind. Definitely an unwarranted foul, and I think that's just frustration from the moments before.
James O'Connor offering a little fake shot over on the far end with Joel Johnson.
So James O'Connor would have no problem throwing his boots on right about now?
Well, he said earlier in our conversation with him that, you know, given the fact they only have 16 men on his roster tonight, that he was going to think about throwing on the boots and getting in rotation. Not sure if that's exactly legal, but I'm sure the Purples in the crowd here at Louisville, or excuse me, at Slugger Field would love to see James O'Connor throw him on and relive the glory days. O'Connor, of course, trained with the Stoke Youth Academy, West Brom, Burnley, Sheffield Wednesday. Great player in his own right. Now coaching a great team. Enzo Martinez looking to get involved, takes a slip. Jorge Herrera trying to slide it through for Jaime Sillage, but the only sliding going on is Enzo Martinez at the moment.
And very impressive by Guy Ben as the ball pops out. And just nice cheeky little header back down to his back line. Louisville able to push the ball out of their defending third.
Sillage in an offside position. Here's a look at James O'Connor. Made it very clear to us earlier in the week that the job is not even close to being done yet. So much still to play for, and they're not worried about whether or not they're hosting throughout the Eastern Conference playoffs, which they are. If all things go according to plan, they're focusing on one game at a time, and his biggest concern right now is 3 points against Charlotte.
And that's an excellent thing to have with your skipper at the helm when you've already locked up the #1 seed and you're still worrying about putting 3 points up on the board with your main squad. And it's impressive from James O'Connor.
Jimenez couldn't get a first touch to it. Goes all the way back for Cody Mizell. And Louisville do have a very, very off chance of really hosting throughout and hosting the USL Cup, but the Real Monarchs over in the Western Conference are 1 point away from locking that honor up, and they're taking on the likes of Vancouver Whitecaps 2 and LA Galaxy 2, so you have to imagine in those 2 games they're going to pick up at least a point.
Yeah, Vancouver talented squad and Los Dos as well, but I agree with you. They're most likely going to pick up at least a point, if not more, with either of those games left.
Great movement here from Louisville. Kyle Smith, or rather McCabe, trying to get there. Wasn't able to keep it in play, and it'll be a goal kick for Mizell.
Again, great ball movement, but I'm not really sure why Niall McCabe slowed down at the end of his run there. You can see him get to the byline and almost stutter step a little bit to knock that ball back. There's no one around him. You either think he continues his run and lays it off immediately, or gets to it, brings the touch back, and then hits it with his left foot across the top of the box. But unfortunately slowed down, and Charlotte's going to get a goal kick.
Cody Mizell has had to make one big save tonight. That's really it. Dobrovolsky hasn't had much to do on the other end. A little bit of rain coming down here. And Enzo Martinez helping me paint that picture a little bit, slipping on the turf here at Slugger Field. And some of the fans starting to search for cover. Guy Bend out wide for Kyle Smith. Trying to take on Yearwood. Great little move to the inside. George Davis takes a slip himself. Comes out for Enzo Martinez. And recognizing did not have a numerical advantage, trying to hold the ball up at the very least, but can't seem to do that. However, Charlotte win it right back. Alex Martinez surrenders possession. And back and forth we go. And what really has been a battle in the middle third of the field for the entire 40 minutes so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely got to give the nod to Louisville, in my opinion. I think Charlotte's had more opportunities going forward, mostly off of set pieces, and whether or not it's a questionable call or not is null and void at this point in time. It's still 0-0. I think Louisville's had better run of play, and anytime you're able to keep Herrera and the Martinez brothers quiet for most of the first half, I think you got to be happy for James O'Connor.
Third time these teams have met this season. Last time it was a 3-1 victory for Charlotte back in early August. Enzo Martinez with the hat trick, and then being sent off for celebrating with the crowd at the Sportsplex at Matthews, which was certainly a bit controversial in its own right. But we'll stay away from that topic. And then earlier on, it was a Ballard goal right at the start of the second half. That was the difference between these two sides earlier in the season. So both teams with a win. Certainly two great clubs going toe-to-toe here at Slugger Field. A lot on the line for Charlotte and house money for Louisville. Lewis Hilton, the big lackadaisical there. Niall McCabe going for goal, and another great save from Cody Mizell, who is furious with his back line, and in particular, Lewis Hilton, who gave the ball away.
Yeah, I think Niall McCabe heard me talking a little smack about him earlier, maybe a little bit slow to get to the end line, and he says, hey, you know what, take a look at this. Watch me have a crack from about 30 yards out. You can see Enzo Martinez having a conversation with Lewis Hilton about just went on as someone else is going to jump into the book. Once again, Niall McCabe, excellent first touch, second touch sets him up, and just an excellent strike to the bottom corner. And again, Cody Mizell, he's talking, he's like, backline, let's get it going. Cody Mizell with 2 solid saves here in the first half to keep his team in it.
And that's the danger with the Charlotte team, is that they open up so far and their center backs are so split and their outside backs get so far forward that if they do give it away in the back, they're exposed like it's nobody's business.
Well, that's what I said at the top of the broadcast. Was I said, you know, kind of advantage Louisville in that area because they'll go forward and they'll get back. You know, even though you're playing 3 with the wingbacks on the outside, so in theory a 5, their guys do a great job of getting up the field, keeping good spacing, covering for each other. I think Charlotte holds the ball very well, and I like their system, but I think they become exposed when they start to push numbers forward, and like you just saw there, the spacing's off, and it creates those little pockets for teams to push into.
Herrera comes away with it. Good first touch. Still Herrera, leaving it off for Alex Martinez, maybe inadvertently. And it's going to end up being, I guess, a foul against Alex Martinez, and it'll come out the other way. Perhaps a foul on Jorge Herrera. Either way, certainly wasn't offside.
Well, and then going against the other green, now you're talking about being exposed at the back. Louisville almost exposed with Herrera Martinez playing a little 2-man game there. That also shows that even though they like to hold the ball, they do possess that quick strike ability, as all of the players on this squad carry a vast amount of pace going forward.
Getting word now that we'll have 2 minutes of stoppage time added on to the first 45 minutes here at Slugger Field. Kyle Smith with a decent first touch, but Charlotte able to clean it up. Good work from Smith to try to win it back. Him and Yearwood jousting for position. Big switch over for Jimenez. He'll be able to keep it in play. It's a picture-perfect ball. Joel Johnson dealing with Jimenez 1v1. Great battle of the possibly 2 best outside backs in the United Soccer League. It's Martinez with a little bit of work to do here.
Guy Ben having a few words with Alex Martinez. He's going to be a little bit frustrated with himself as Cody Mizell came out, made a good save. Unfortunately, on that save, his rebound was knocked right into the middle of the field, and Guy Ben's first touch was just a little bit off center. Was hoping to bring that down and have a crack.
A couple updates for you. Rochester right now with a 2-0 lead still over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Charleston Battery with a 3-0 lead over the Harrisburg City Islanders. That's in the 60th minute, and New York Red Bulls 2 in a huge matchup with Orlando City B, up 3-1 in a massive matchup that has a lot of implications as far as who's going to be in and who's going to be out at the bottom of the Eastern Conference table.
And OCB laying chase to the likes of Cincinnati and Bethlehem. Bethlehem with a huge win the other night. They are going to need to pull out something going down 3-1. They need those points in order to stay in the playoff race.
It's probably the first time I've ever seen a goalkeeper spin the ball like that, hoping that it lands on the 6-yard box directly, and it actually did. He picked it up and he ruined it.
He just did it again. Second time in a row.
I mean, 99% of the time, it's usually a couple yards in front of the line, a couple yards behind the line. You know, referee's never going to say anything, but I mean, that is impressive. As you get a look at some of the Purple Faithful here, searching for cover. Ponchos are out. Looks like the rain has stopped for a brief moment. Herrera lets it run through, but Louisville City there to defend. Siage trying to send it into the path of Austin Yearwood. Second ball falls for Hilton. Enzo Martinez trying to find his brother Alex in the middle of the park. Good sliding challenge from Guy Ben to break up the rhythm, but it's still Alex here. Coming out wide for Yearwood. Sliding challenge from Smith. He's also on a yellow card, but luckily for him, he got it right, and Dobrovolsky able to hang out to it.
And Kyle Smith's got to be careful in those situations because he's leaving his feet a lot. And when you got a yellow card behind you, you have to be very, very careful, especially because the referee's got an eye on you.
Halftime here at Slugger Field between Louisville and Charlotte. Nothing to write home about for the moment. Couple of decent saves from Cody Mizell. Not much for Dabrowski on the other side. Louisville and Charlotte 0-0 at the half. Devin Kerr, your thoughts?
Yeah, again, I made the reference earlier, but it reminds me a lot of two sparring partners in a match, boxing. I think it's been good so far, and I think Louisville has the advantage, and probably won't see any changes, but a lot going forward in the second half.
Goose eggs on the scoreboard at the moment. We'll be back in just a second with stats, highlights, and a little bit more.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing, and we do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking? Love in the window. Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Pizza, beer, sports. A great combination. Join other sports fans at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House in Louisville, where you'll find what Food Network says is the best pizza in Kentucky. Incredible game day and social hour specials starting at just $2. With an award-winning menu and one of city's best local craft beer list. Just one bite, and we know you'll love it so much, you'll come back time and time again at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House, your social sports destination.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
The heat is hot. You should have some adult beverages when you go with the heat.
We come here pretty much every Friday now. We've been here several times and we love it.
Everything is fantastic, sides and all.
Chicken and waffles, it's excellent. It's the best place you can get it.
It's so hot, you actually get a buzz from eating this. You come get takeout that tastes like something you cook at home. That's what keeps me coming back.
Halftime here at Slugger Field between Louisville City FC and the Charlotte Independence. 0-0 between these two fantastic sides. Louisville, obviously, regular season championship wrapped up in the Eastern Conference. Charlotte Independence starving for points at the moment. And we'll give you a look at the playoff picture. Again, Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. Glad to have you with us. And Devin, take a look here. Louisville City, obviously, everything wrapped up with a bow. But for Charlotte and the way things are going around the league right now, they could potentially slip to 6th with the way things are at the moment.
Yeah, they're going to be very frustrated for sure, especially with the Rochester Rhino breathing heavy down on their heels. You know, they're currently leading and virtually sitting at 47 points. Again, a lot to go on. We talked about the OCB Red Bulls 2 game. Red Bulls 2 leading that 3-1. There's just so much shifting that can take place between 2 and 8 over the final days, and it's really going to be interesting to see how everything plays out.
Charlotte Independence, again, desperate for points, and this is the playoff picture at the moment entering today. I guess not at the moment, it's entering today. This is what the playoff picture would look like. It would be Louisville City and Orlando City B in the first round. That'll be on October 20th, and then Charlotte and Rochester. That is a terrific matchup and contrasting styles, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, there's a boatload going on in this, and this graphic is going to change in 5 minutes and 5 seconds and 15 seconds and so on and so forth. But again, a lot of very talented teams, and I think the biggest thing for both squads here tonight, Louisville already wrapped up the home, Charlotte trying to find that, because that's going to be a huge advantage coming down the road.
Just moving to the halftime show here at Slugger Field, 0-0 between Louisville City and the Charlotte Independence. Stay with us, we'll be back in just a few moments.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
As we enter the final 2 weeks of the 2017 USL regular season, the playoff race is coming down to the wire. In one of the final games of Week 28, the Charleston Battery claimed the point they needed to clinch a spot in the postseason through Evio Cordovez's late equalizer, which earned a 1-1 draw at Ottawa Fury FC. Another sellout crowd at Papa Murphy's Park of 11,569 fans saw Sacramento Republic FC close out its home slate on a high note Saturday night with a 2-0 victory that ended Phoenix Rising FC's 11-game undefeated streak. With the win, Republic FC now needs just 1 point to claim a 4th consecutive trip to the USL Cup playoffs. At the top of the Western Conference, Real Monarchs SLC struck early in the second half and twice before the final whistle on the road to down Reno 1868 FC 3-0 to put one hand on the USL regular season championship. 1 more point is all that's needed for the Monarchs to claim the first silverware in their history. One of the scorers for the Monarchs in Reno was Chandler Hoffman, who is again firmly in the middle of the race for the USL Golden Boot with 16 goals this season. Everyone is still chasing Reno 1868 FC's Dane Kelly, though, as the Jamaican continues to lead the way with 18 goals in what looks now like a 3-player race that also features Hoffman and the Charlotte Independence's Enzo Martinez, who also sits on 16 goals. With 2 games remaining for all 3 players, the award remains up for grabs as the regular season nears its conclusion. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Calvert.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Halftime here at Slugger Field between Louisville City and the Charlotte Independence, and the dabs and the dances are out here. Even though it's raining, the youngsters are always going to find something to smile about. Not much to smile about on either side right now because there really hasn't been all that much action. Louisville City probably has had the better of the chances early on, but Cody Mizell's been up to the task.
Well, and they got shot out of a cannon right away as they just started going forward and going forward rapidly with pace. You saw the ball played outside to Kyle Smith. He was active often in the first half. Ball played across to Niall McCabe, and Niall McCabe could not connect with that top corner.
And then a few minutes later, it'll be a couple of big set-piece opportunities for Charlotte. Some really just poor marking on Louisville's side. Austin Yearwood unable to connect with his shoulder on that play, and then Callum Ross free again on the back post.
Yeah, Charlotte trying to get real cute and quirky with their play. Some nice little restarts from them. Solid ball movement into the box. Excellent service. And again, like you said, the marking in the back has been shaky on these restarts. They're playing that zone marking, and it's all about communication. That is key, and you have to wonder how much Jaworowski comes into play on that.
And then this was a huge moment. Cody Mizell would end up coming up with a big save, but looked like Luke Spencer should have played Smith in first time.
Luke Spencer has to do much better with that situation. You are the point man. The ball comes in. Nice little 1v1. Niall McCabe lays the ball back, and for some reason, he's looking directly to the left side of the pitch, which, by the way, is marked when he's trying to knock that ball out there. And Kyle Smith wide open on the right. Lucky that the deflection comes to him. I think if he plays that ball sooner, it ends up at the back of the net.
And then there would be a couple of more opportunities and another save for Cody Mizell. Niall McCabe this time with the shot, but again, more giveaways at the back for Charlotte.
Yeah, Niall McCabe having a nice little dig from about 25, 30 yards out. Cody Mizell, you can see his frustration. Backline, get it together, get it going. I don't want to do it on my own all night long.
And here are the stats from the first half, and Charlotte just cannot seem to find to get anything going at the moment. They haven't been able to get a shot on target. Louisville, on the other hand, dominated possession. They've had a couple of good rips at it, but Cody Mizell's been good so far.
And Charlotte very frustrated with their lack of possession, which is their go-to. That is the key factor that they need to continuously stay in games. When they can't get it, they get frustrated. They are already frustrated not being able to score a goal. On the other side, credit to James O'Connor and his boys, because last week they were content with sitting back versus Rochester and playing the defensive game. This week, taking it to Charlotte and holding up most of the possession. More opportunities.
And a big statistic up there. Again, 6 yellow cards. Been a very physical matchup between these two sides. Louisville and Charlotte 0-0 at the half. We'll be back in just a few moments with second half kickoff.
During Ram Power Days at Kentuckiana's #1 Dodge Ram dealer, Commonwealth Dodge Ram. Choose from hundreds of top Ram trucks, like a 2017 Ram 1500 for $21,970 or buy for $289 a month. Busy? We'll bring the test drive to you. Go to CommonwealthDodge.com.
Bring your business vision to life with an Entrepreneurship MBA from the University of Louisville. Learn from faculty who are experienced business innovators and develop your ideas with the backing of successful and supportive alumni. An affordable investment in your career that helps you to become the entrepreneur you always knew you could be. The Entrepreneurship MBA at the University of Louisville. Take your first step today. UofLMBA.com.
Louisville City FC on WBNA 21 is sponsored in part by
Commonwealth Dodge, the Tri-State's #1 Dodge Ram dealer, home of a lifetime powertrain warranty. Guts, glory, Ram.
When you need someone there, call Sterling Heating and Air, the company that cares. With experts you can trust, Sterling Heating and Air has been around almost as long as air conditioning itself, with great service, and our special membership will save you money whenever you need service. We are home care specialists that will take care of your property at all costs. Our techs are certified, drug-free, and we offer the best warranties in the business. Special discounts for military, firefighters, teachers, and police. Sterling Heating and Air, serving you, serving the community since 1907.
There's a new TV show here in Louisville you need to check out. It's Hey Kentucky. But you know the NCAA, they're going to make some, it's going to be like an Abraham Isaac sacrifice.
Hey Kentucky, we are here in Nashville at the George Jones Museum with the possum and some people behind us, and we're going to talk about the UK game.
Here's what we do. We talk about all the news of the state. That includes Kentucky basketball, but also politics, entertainment. Whatever's going on, we give it to you. 10 o'clock every night, WBNA Channel 21.
Score big at Commonwealth Dodge Ram. A new 17 Journey, just $16,970, or buy for $215 a month. A 2017 Durango SXT, only $29,995, or lease for $289 a month. Commonwealth Dodge Ram, right on Preston and always right on the price.
Halftime here between Louisville and Charlotte. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. And we'll take a look right now at the nominees for Defender of the Year. 2 of them right now on the pitch. Of course, Paco Craig for Louisville City. A little bit different than Joel Johnson, who we'll see in a little bit. Harrison Delbridge, also a member of this crew for FC Cincinnati. He's been outstanding in front of Mitch Hildebrandt for FC Cincinnati all year.
Yeah, loads of talent that you're going to see pop up on the screen with everybody coming up. Obviously, Sebastian, very, very talented as well. And, I had the pleasure of seeing Joel Johnson and Harrison Delbridge go at it last week. Joel Johnson had his way with the left side of the pitch. He being on the right, getting up and down the field. Great two-way player, and offensively, he is just a bright light to watch for the Charlotte squad.
The Spaniard has been obviously one of the best outside backs in the USL this season. And, of course, Kiffy for Sacramento Republic FC. And maybe somebody who was left off the list that might deserve to be on it. Oscar Jimenez, perhaps?
I 100% agree with you. No disrespect to anybody that's up on that list, but I think Oscar Jimenez, again, like a Joel Johnson, great going forward. I think on the defensive side of the ball, he's much more compact, much more consistent, and I think he definitely deserves to be in that conversation.
And, of course, with Louisville City FC wrapping up their first place season in the Eastern Conference in their championship, more good news, and this $200 million project is right around the corner. I mean, just a great opportunity for a city that really has embraced this franchise. and it's just an even better look at what could potentially be for this club.
It's very exciting with everything that's going on with this sport in the United States, and you were seeing the renderings of the absolutely amazing stadium that Louisville's working on, and they deserve it. And I think that, you know, going forward, you're going to continue to see that growth in each and every city that has a team, you know, pushing forward, because if we're going to get better as a nation and continue to progress in this sport, that's exactly what we need.
And really, it does start with these guys that we're seeing right here, the fans. I mean, the Coopers, the Rickhouse, I mean, these are unbelievable support groups. I mean, you can go around the USL. There are so many great fan bases that have done such a good job of just embracing these teams, you know, no matter what level it is or what it might be. But, you know, this league has put on such a great show for them all season and really for a past number of years. And it's no surprise that there's recognition nationally. You know, Sports Center top 10. This league has come such a long way. 30 teams, expanding to even more next year and the year beyond that. And they deserve this sort of elevation of game, elevation of venues to be able to call home.
Well, and you said, you know, it starts with the fans. I agree there. And then, you know, that emotion and the support and everything is contagious, and it thrives right from the fans to the players, and the players take that and they run with it. It's going to go into, you know, appearances. You know, you get involved in the community more. You start doing charity work, this, that, and the other, and then your performances going forward, that starts to thrive, and then it's just a continuous circle where things start to snowball in a positive direction.
We're underway for the start of the second half, and this portion of tonight's broadcast is presented by Plainview Apartments, the official housing partner of Lou City. Again, Tyler Terrens along with Devin Kerr. Glad to have you with us on this little bit moist Saturday evening here at Slugger Field, as rain has come down periodically throughout the course of this match. Some fans have found cover, some not, enduring the weather at the moment, and hopefully it'll remain dry for the second half. But it's been a very physical start to this match. 6 yellow cards in the first half, 4 of them to Louisville, 2 of them to Charlotte, as Endo Martinez taken down, and it looks like we're going to start right where we left off.
Yeah, and you hope it doesn't get out of control. I mean, I think it started to settle down in the final 5 or 6 minutes of the second half. I think the guys got back on track, and both squads, again, we talked about a little bit in the first half. You don't want to lose your cool and lose your emotion and let it overtake your performance, because then you sit here and you're like, oh, great, another foul. Oh, great, another foul. And there's no continuity in either team's output at all whatsoever. And again, they're so talented, you just want to see a good performance by both squads.
Kalungi with a heavy touch. James O'Connor doing everything that he can to help his team operate quickly with the quick throw-in, but Charlotte able to snuff it out. Again, good pressure from McCabe. And, you know, while this Louisville team does have a great defensive back line with those 3 center defenders, which is usually Tosh, Craig, and Reynolds, it's obviously Murad tonight, but you can also say that the strikers for Louisville do a great job of defending as well. It's really a collective 11-man effort. Well, and not only defending as they're coming back behind the ball, but how well have they done when they've turned the ball over in the final third? You've seen Niall McCabe and Spencer and George Davis IV. As soon as they lose the ball, they turn around and they're pressing right away and have caused a lot of turnovers and frustration for that Charlotte back line. Joel Johnson, 1v1 with Jimenez. Great matchup here. Johnson trying to send in some decent delivery, but couldn't quite get it right. And it will be a goal kick for Tim Dobrovolsky, who has not had to make a save tonight yet. And Johnson had like 6 feet of spin on that ball. That thing was a solid 2 or 3 feet behind the end line. Spun it all the way back into play, but as we know, it's not allowed, unfortunately. It's a no-no, as they would say. Dobrovolsky with just his 12th appearance on the season. Him and Ranjitsingh were going back and forth at the beginning of the year just in terms of who was going to be the starter, and Ranjitsingh appeared as the clear winner and being rewarded for his recent efforts as he is on international duty with Trinidad and Tobago. But Dobrovolsky certainly no slouch himself. 3 clean sheets in 12 appearances he's had so far, and he's on his way to a 4th potentially tonight. 0-0 between these 2 great clubs. We saw a lot of it in the first half from Charlotte. They had the opportunity on the dead balls. Now it's going to jump over to Louisville, and they're going to have a little spin at it. Going to look for some solid service. Like to see something right around the penalty mark. Jimenez, it's a good ball in. Just going wide. It was Gaia Ben who got there with the head. Put a great ball in from Oscar Jimenez, and he's been doing that all season long.
What's the quote? Ask and you shall receive. I asked Martinez to knock a solid ball into the penalty mark. He put it right on cue, exactly where you wanted it to be. You can see the boys jumping up. Just Tarek Murad could not get his head all the way around it, heading in a couple yards wide.
It was Tarek Murad, and he's the lone Louisville City FC member who has not scored a goal yet this season. How poetic would that be if he was able to get one on the second to last game of the season?
He's definitely trying to jump into action for sure.
Enzo Martinez with good pressure, not going to be able to keep it in play, and it will be a goal kick again for Dobrovolsky.
You got to wonder if the boys in purple know that stat and if they give him a hard time in the locker room.
It's an amazing statistic, though, that every single member of this team, with the exception of number 6, have been able to provide offensively for this side. I mean, it just goes to show that they really do spread the wealth.
Yeah, I mean, they spread the wealth, and no matter who's playing where, who's off on international duty, who's hurt, everybody's willing to submit to their role and step up.
Alex Martinez gives it away. Hasn't been his best night so far. He's gotten involved in some extracurriculars as well as not exactly possessing the ball as we're used to seeing him. Jaime Sias picking up that pass. Through for Herrera. Joel Johnson joining him. It's not a bad ball, and Dobrovolsky able to collect it. But that's much better from Charlotte just in terms of getting your outside backs involved and having them join in on the attack.
Yeah, I think from Charlotte, and more specifically as you're referencing Alex Martinez, we've seen a lot more verbal jousting for him. Not a lot of physical play pushing forward. And just kind of lost in translation almost. I mean, again, credit to Louisville, though, that they've been able to shut him down, as you see Luke Spencer with a nice tackle.
And an even better one from behind by Alex Martinez, who apparently heard you and is going to start to get more involved physically.
It's convenient how that seems to take place.
Sias through for Enzo Martinez. Great challenge there, but it is going to be a foul. This one against Paco Craig, and that's going to be a yellow card. Enzo Martinez asking for medical attention already. And that's another defender for Louisville City who's been shown mustard here.
So now we've got Kyle Smith, Sean Toach, and Paco Craig, all who have been booked in only the 52nd minute. And you can see Guy Ben and George Davis having a few words. So now we got to settle down. Let's get back to it. Enzo Martinez on the ground. And you can see Paco Craig stepping up into the space. Niall McCabe pointing to the referee. Hey, he's got the ball. Hard to tell from that angle, in my opinion. It's also frustrating as a defender coming forward in those situations because momentum's swinging one way, your body's coming the other. Anytime you leave your feet, you're obviously putting yourself in doubt with the referee. Coming in studs up, and you can see James O'Connor's face asking the second official, you know, what was the issue there? You know, I think with that angle, it's a little bit hard to tell. I'm not really sure I go to my book in that situation, but I could understand him possibly calling a foul.
Well, looks like the head referee is going to have a conversation with his AR right now, or maybe perhaps an explanation for James O'Connor.
Lucas Zapala not too happy that James O'Connor has been tutoring the second official on exactly what should have taken place.
You always feel bad for the second or fourth official who usually just get the earful from the referee that the head referee should be getting.
Just verbally berated in every way, shape, and form, 100%.
It's an innocent-looking James O'Connor. Free kick here for Charlotte as the physical play continues here in the second half. 6 yellow cards in the first. Now we have our 7th and our first of the second half. Goal kick for Dobrovolsky and another set piece gone by the wayside for Charlotte. Sort of been the story of their night from free kicks.
Like you said though, Tyler, interestingly enough, Dobrovolsky not really having to make a boatload of effort or exert himself for the most part.
Enzo Martinez going for goal, takes the deflection, and Dobrovolsky makes his first save in the 54th minute.
Just as we did before with Alex Martinez, right on cue, Dobrovolsky having to make a little bit more of an effort than he's had to in our first 55 minutes of this match.
Here's Lou City on the move again. Plenty of space here. George Davis, the fourth, trying to return. Spencer, not a bad effort, but it can't get all the way through. Jimenez trying to shield off Joel Johnson. A great matchup we've kept an eye on all night. And Johnson able to clear it away. We do have an update for you earlier on when the head referee went over to the sideline. He was actually ejecting the assistant coach for Louisville City, Daniel Bird. So Daniel Bird, the assistant coach for Louisville City, having to exit Slugger Field after probably arguing with the either head referee or the assistant referee. I'll take another look at it.
And James O'Connor having a conversation with the second official. He said Daniel Bird just pushing the limits, a little bit too much. And Lucas Zapala not going to have it.
Del Piccolo, Davis the fourth can't get there, just out of his reach. And maybe some space on the other end for Charlotte. Enzo Martinez nipping at his heels is Tosh, trying to slide it through, but a great challenge from Tarek Murad.
And once again, we talked about their defending, and they're pushed so high on that restart. And as the ball comes in from the side, the counterattack so dangerous from Charlotte. Boy, great defending by Louisville.
Starting to open up a little bit here at Slugger Field. Spencer couldn't hang on to it. Del Piccolo. Jimenez with a great first touch. Gaia Bend. A wide for Smith. Trying to get the delivery off, blocked by Austin Yearwood. It will be a throw in deep in Charlotte territory. Smith gets it back. Murad through for McCabe, clever little ball. McCabe for Spencer, gets all the way through for Davis the fourth, and it's an own goal off Joel Johnson. Lou City won't get credit for it, but they will get credit for the goal on the night. It's 1-0 to the Purples here in the 57th.
Now, Lou City so dangerous all night. Haven't had a lot go their way when they've pushed in the final third. A lot of ill-timed whistles, but at this point in time, they definitely took advantage of that opportunity. Great combination play down in the corner. You could see almost the weight of the entire city being lifted off of their shoulders as they push towards 3 points. Again, we talked about the 1-2. Great ball back by Niall McCabe. Spencer not able to get on the end of it. And the ball just sits on the doorstep for George Davis. He cannot believe. Not the greatest of touches, but nonetheless ends up in the back of the net. 1-0 Louisville.
And we'll wait for the official word whether or not it is an own goal. That's sort of tough to tell there because you have to imagine that if it goes through that Cody Mizell is most likely going to make the save, but at the same time, you know, it just sort of goes under what the rule book states, which is an own goal, which is the initial flight of the ball heading into the back of the goal. But either way, it's a goal for Louisville City. We'll wait for the official confirmation whether George Davis IV can claim that goal or not.
I'm sure that'll make James O'Connor very happy on the sideline, especially after the ejection. Emotions running high here at Slugger Stadium, and that's going to calm them down for sure.
And we are getting hard confirmation now that the goal did go to George Davis IV. Right in front of the Coopers here. And that was a Lou City goal brought to you by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. Corner sent in, Kalungi gets there first, Lewis Hilton helping it along. Great little ball out wide from George Davis IV, playing with plenty of confidence after he officially gets his goal. So things continue to just get worse for the Charlotte Independent side. Haven't been able to exactly find the rhythm here on the road at Slugger Field. And Louisville City making them pay. It was a great ball from Kyle Smith to set up Niall McCabe. Smith again with some bullish work on the near side, and he could potentially making a argument for man of the match tonight.
Well, I think what's gone on so far, if you were to pick out who was going to be involved, you would almost have to include Kyle Smith and Niall McCabe from what went on in the first half and what's gone on in the entire 60 minutes of this game so far. Again, just great work. Nice overlapping run, ball played into the channel. Niall McCabe coming off of Kyle Smith's ball, and just a great job cutting it back. Luke Spencer couldn't finish it off. George Davis did. As Louisville continues to march on, being extremely grateful for their positioning in the Eastern Conference champs, showing why they're sitting at #1.
And again, this portion of tonight's broadcast is presented by Plainview Apartments, the official housing partner of Lou City. George Davis, the fourth, on the move again. Through for Oscar Jimenez, trying to get around Joel Johnson, but that's great defending from one of the 5 Defensive Player of the Year nominees, Jaime Siage. It was Hilton getting out of some tight quarters. Does extremely well. Getting word now that Brian Ombie is going to be checking into the game in just a brief moment, as he will replace George Davis, the fourth. Clearance from Callum Ross, claiming that it took a touch off of a purple jersey, and it did. And now this portion of tonight's broadcast is presented by the official partners Sullivan University. As the substitution is going to be made now, George Davis, the fourth, subbed off here in the 61st minute, but he's certainly done his part in what could prove to be the difference in the season series between these two sides, getting the lone goal of the evening.
Well, I think James O'Connor, it's 2 things that are going on there. #1, first and foremost, you've gone up 1-0, so tactically you're going to put in Ownby, who is a much different player than George Davis, the fourth. Obviously, George Davis a little bit speedy, but Ownby's going to be able to help hold up possession for you, maintain things as you move up and down the pitch, and also Davis sitting on that yellow card, so making sure that you maximize your opportunity as you've gone up 1-0 and that he does not collect a sending off.
Spencer, McCabe with a heavy touch, and Mizell read it the whole way. Great opportunity there for Lou City, but McCabe just couldn't clean up the touch. And back to the George Davis, the fourth goal, you have to imagine that the slick terrain and the slick surfaces right now had to play a part in Joel Johnson not being able to get a clean foot to that.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such a solid defender back there in the back line. But I think what also happened was the spacing became so eradicated based upon the combination play down in the corner that when the ball slipped in behind the back line,
Dobrovolsky almost makes a mess out of that.
You saw a lot of the Charlotte team, actually, they all started to drift towards the ball. Most of them started to drift towards the near post, which created all that space behind them. So although Joel Johnson and the elements probably did come into play, he was also the only one sitting on the backside, so he's got to step into that space.
Tough challenge in the middle, apart from Lewis Hilton. The referee says play on. Niall McCabe gets a shove in the back from Bilal Duckett, and down is Guy Abend. And the physical play continues here at Slugger Field. It really has not let up.
Charlotte substitution in match 8, Calvert, replacing number 10, Jorge Herrera.
And it looks like Jorge Herrera is going to be subbed off. Caleb Calvert is going to come on. Late season acquisition for Mike Jeffries. He's going to make his way onto the scene here in the 63rd. And the substitution brought to you by Great Clips. Not the best of nights again for Jorge Herrera, who's still in search of that goal since July 29th.
Well, at this point in time, you're Mike Jeffries, you're on the road, it's the 63rd minute. Haven't been able to gain any points. Emotion and tensions running high. Playoff spot slipping away right in front of you.
Here's a long-range effort from McCabe. Sat up nicely for him, but just couldn't get it right.
Well, and funny enough, Charlotte in the first half trying to make do with some trickery. Impressive by Louisville there. Ball played into the top and just dropped onto the top of this 18-yard box trying to have a go at it.
Caleb Calvert, who just came on, 20 years old, from Wrightwood, California. Youngest homegrown signing ever for Chivas USA back when they were in existence. George Davis, the fourth, just keeping loose on the touchline. Looks like the foul's going to go the other way. Alex Martinez not making any friends in the process. His brother Enzo coming to bat for him, but obviously not going to get any love from the referee, who sure doesn't want to hear from the Martinez brothers anymore throughout the night.
Yeah, I'm sure being in charge of this game, the Abbott and Costello routine for the Martinez brothers starts to get a little bit old.
Luke Spencer, great little move to go through Lewis Hilton. Paco Craig. Oscar Jimenez, great little 1-2 with McCabe. Great football from Louisville. The second effort from Del Piccolo just goes wide, but just a brief glimpse of what the Purples are capable of in the attacking third.
I mean, what great one-touch football as they move down the pitch. I mean, in and out. Jimenez, we talked about him all night long. I actually thought he was going to take a touch in front of him and hit it. Nice ball played in the top, and Del Piccolo has a little dig, comes back out to him on the rebound, but couldn't get enough behind it.
I mean, if you had no idea what the standings were in the Eastern Conference or what the situation was playoff-wise, here's a great opportunity. Ombi trying to slide it across, but Spencer was already at the near post. I mean, if you didn't understand what was going on playoff-wise or had no idea and you're just watching this game, I mean, Louisville looks like a team who's just oozing with confidence.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You said you don't know the stats.
Calvert with a great effort. Oh, what a goal from Calvert! Stunning the crowd here at Slugger Field. It's just what the doctor ordered for Charlotte. Out of nothing, they have equalized here.
Oscar Jimenez had just had his hands on top of his head. He could not believe what just happened. An absolute delightful finish from Calvert. Pointing up, thanking the heavens. I think that's all you, my man. The super sub coming on, scored almost immediately. What a ball floated into the backside. Calvert does excellent, bringing it down off his chest. Excellent placement in front of him, going to the far post, and I don't think Dobrovolsky thought he was going to hit it. Just does so well to bring it down. The finesse and precision, and just pings it upper 90. That is a great finish by that young man.
Calvert with his first goal in a Charlotte Independence uniform, and it could not have come at a better time. 66th minute, and we're all level here at Slugger Field.
Well, don't sleep on the ball by Jaime Siaj either. I mean, what a great ball pinged to the back post. And again, we've talked about Louisville and their spacing in the back line all night long and how impressive it is. They can get forward and back, but just caught off guard there as Charlotte pushed forward and went quick. Louisville haven't really dealt with that all night long, as when Charlotte has turned it over, they tend to keep possession and try and push their numbers forward in synchronicity, but deciding to go one-on-one there, and a great job by Calvert bringing it down to tie the game up.
And Mike Jeffries certainly looks like a genius subbing in Calvert and replacing Jorge Herrera. Corner kick sent in. Kalungi gets there, but not his best defensive header. To race to the ball, Jimenez going to see that one out. It'll be another corner just from the opposite side, and we'll do it all over again. Jimenez will like to play short. Ownby trying to bend it in. Takes a deflection off Lewis Hilton. Ownby working on Alex Martinez. Jimenez towards the back post.
And I'll tell you what, as things start to open up here and things start to heat up, now it's 1-1 in the 68th minute. It's going to be interesting to watch both squads and see how they react, and especially these pressure-pointed circumstances are good for them, because no matter what, they're both going to make the playoffs. Obviously, Louisville at 1 and Charlotte at 4 right now. But how they react when the pressure's on the line and they have to is going to play a vital role in what they're able to do in the playoffs.
And on the other hand, Charlotte still starving for points. And that goal from Calvert could prove to be vital in their search of a home playoff game. Bad giveaway for Louisville City. Jaime Siaj picks it off. Siaj trying to slide it through for Enzo Martinez, but Enzo, knowing he was offside, didn't even give it a try. Charleston Battery with another goal against Harrisburg City, so they now lead 4-0. New York Red Bulls 2 with a goal-scoring bonanza effort against Orlando City B, 5-2 in favor of the reigning USL Cup champions. Alex Martinez tripped up, and the referee going to deal with something on the other side of the pitch. As it looks like Niall McCabe is still down.
And now McCabe almost in disbelief that Lucas Apala didn't come to his aid. He said, referee, you saw it, pointing to the assistant referee, sideline official. Took a little knock to the mouth there.
Over the top for Enzo Martinez. Trying to play through Sean Tosh. It'll be a throw-in for Charlotte. Seemingly have life after the Calvert goal in the 66th minute. Calvert and Alex Martinez not on the same page. Louisville City throwing. Just about 70 minutes played here at Slugger Field. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. Glad to have you with us. Louisville City have everything wrapped up in the Eastern Conference. Not much to play for, but just trying to stay in form. And for Charlotte, they need 3 points in the worst way here on the road at Slugger Field. Jaime Siage. Trying to get around Kyle Smith. It's a foul on Smith. He can't believe it. And Alex Martinez is just going to slow things down for the Independents.
Yeah, Jaime Siage, the Spaniard, coming forward. That huge frame in the middle of the field. Again, got the great assist to Caleb Calvert. And you can see Louisville City on their heels a little bit right now, struggling to keep up with Charlotte in the past 10 minutes, trying to reverse their fortunes if they can.
Lewis Hilton, great ball in. Caleb Calvert claiming that he was pulled down from behind, still arguing with the referee.
I think Caleb Calvert's going to have to do a little bit more lobbying than that if he expects the referee to point to the spot.
Del Piccolo able to bring it down over the top for Ownby. It's going to hold up. Good work to keep it in for Jimenez. Jimenez towards the back post, but Cody Mizell picks it off.
And we talked about when Ownby came on, the different dimension that he gives you outside of George Davis. He doesn't have the speed, but he does have the possession and doing a great job getting in behind the back line and holding the ball up for his team to give themselves an opportunity to get a shot on goal.
Gaia Bend. Wide for Jimenez once more. Louisville City with some good game management right now. Slowing things down, not allowing Charlotte to get on top of the ball. Just trying to pick them apart slowly but surely. Ball from McCabe cut out. Austin Yearwood back for Kalungi. Good header from Calvert, brings it down for Siage. Siage looking for an option. Joel Johnson joining in on the fun. Enzo Martinez trying to get around Jimenez. But stout defending from Oscar.
Yeah, impressive from Louisville for sure, because they were really on the ropes for about an 8 or 10 minute stretch there, and they've done very well maintaining possession. It shows the poise that this squad has. And obviously it's going to cause Charlotte more frustration as well.
Kyle Smith on the move. Now we're being told that Ballard is going to replace McCabe in just a few moments. Ballard, of course, with the game winner in the first time these two teams met earlier in the season. That goal coming just after halftime. Kalungi. Enzo Martinez is down, slowly but surely finding his way back to his feet. And the referee forced to stop play as it is a possible head injury. Appears that Enzo is okay, and we'll be able to resume play. It's going to be Lou City ball, obviously. And now the substitution is going to be made. So the Energizer bunny off the bench for James O'Connor. Ballard coming onto the scene here and replacing Niall McCabe. And this substitution brought to you by Great Clips.
Yeah, interesting. James O'Connor almost going backwards from his initial substitution because they were up 1-0, trying to hold the ball up a little more. But unfortunately, Charlotte gaining the tying goal. We're knotted at 1 in the 75th minute, but like you said, you're going to bring on Richie Ballard, and now McCabe going off. Great shift for him tonight, and Ballard's hoping to wreak havoc. So we're going to get a look at exactly what he was able to do against this squad last time out.
Just left Cody Mizell absolutely helpless.
And you don't say that a lot.
Nope. And David Estrada coming on and replacing Jaime Siage as well. David Estrada, the normal starter for this independent side, but maybe due to a lack of production as of late, Jaime Siage getting the start. Enzo Martinez dispossessed.
Mike Jeffries usually pretty consistent with his chess pieces, but like you said, just not a lot of production offensively from his squad, and maybe just kind of tweak things a little bit.
Estrada pushing and shoving match with Jimenez. It's going to be Jimenez who's called for the foul. Slowly but surely finding our way towards the 90-minute mark. Just about 15 minutes plus remaining. Calvert and George Davis IV are our goal scorers, knotted at 1-1 after the Calvert equalizer in the 66th. Louisville not much to play for. Charlotte everything to play for. Hilton doesn't get past Jimenez. Omby lining up the header. Luke Spencer sending it forward. Brian Omby off to the races. Now 1v1 with Johnson. Omby towards the back post. It's a great ball, but Spencer was a little tardy arriving. Spencer trying to get around Yearwood. Good defending. Almost fell for Ballard. Takes a deflection, and it's in. Lou City in the 77th take the lead. The initial shot came from Omby. It looked like it might have taken deflection off of Ballard. Either way, Lou City are in front.
Well, you got to wonder if that deflection came off of Ballard. I actually thought it might have come off of Kyle Smith, but either way, what a great job by Ownby. Chasing the ball down, keeping it. Was going 1v3 at one point in time, played that phenomenal floated ball to the back post. Kyle Smith actually stopped his run. I think he gave up on the play, and as you're going to see here, Ownby takes a strike, and yeah, that comes off Kyle Smith. And Ownby deserves that one, folks. Again, the hard work he put in, floated the ball to the back post. Kyle Smith late on his run. Spencer doing a great job tracking it down. Then plays a nice ball into Ownby. Ownby with a good finish, regardless of the deflection.
That was a Lou City goal brought to you by Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. And we've had a couple of strange sort of goals for Lou City tonight. You know, the first one, you can make the argument that it's potentially an own goal. And now the second one, do you give that to Ownby or do you give it to Kyle Smith?
No, you got to give it to Ownby for sure. I mean, it takes a tiny little deflection. To be honest, I think that thing was going in no matter what. You know, obviously Cody Mizell back there, very capable and has been Johnny on the spot in a lot of situations, but I do not think he had a chance there. I think he was just exposed way too much. The back line of Charlotte was stretched way too thin and all over the map, and Louisville doing a good job of isolating it. And even though the ball was misplayed initially, great job tracking back by Ownby and finding himself into the spot to be able to slot it away.
Now Charlotte on the move, looking to equalize. Enzo Martinez through the defenders. Could fall here for Estrada. Back out for Alex Martinez. Calvert again, but Dobrovolsky makes the save. Could have been the second of the night for Calvert and the second in the Charlotte Independence uniform, but Dobrovolsky able to hang on to it. Didn't necessarily have the pace or the accuracy from Caleb Calvert, and it remains 2-1.
Well, and apparently the spacing is contagious. You can see Louisville City, just everybody going to ground, not doing the worst job, but Guy Ben got turned around for sure. Not his best defending that we've seen.
And Lou City, of course, going to slow things up here for the remaining 12 minutes plus stoppage time. And going back to Cody Mizell, you have to feel for the guy who really hasn't been able to do much about either goal, and both of them coming off of deflections that are just out of his control.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of his control in general. I think there has been the spacing issues at the back line, but even then, I mean, just you got to give credit to Louisville because the ball movement has been absolutely stellar for the course of the entire evening, and that was just a great depiction of what has gone on. You saw the ball moved in from the middle of the park, down into the corner, Ownby going 3v1, or I should say 1v3. I mean, right then and there, you got to give him credit.
And Ownby again with some great work. Kalungi is there to cut out the cross, but Brian Ownby has had a super sub-like. And now David Spees is going to come on and replace Yearwood, so another very offensive substitution for Mike Jeffries. And this substitution brought to you by Greg Clips.
With Charlotte, the ship is sinking, and Jeffries doing whatever he can to try and patch this as much as possible because they are going to need all the points that they can get. And currently Charlotte sitting in fourth, virtually at 48 points if the result holds.
Well, both Charleston and Rochester have locked up 3 points, so the gap becomes narrower and narrower between Charlotte and the Rochester Rhinos, as the Rhinos are vying for that home spot as well. And the Rhinos are an extremely tough team to beat on any given night or anywhere, but they're even tougher to beat at Capelli Sports Stadium in Western New York. And it might come down to the last game of the season for Charlotte, whether they're going to host a home playoff game or not. It certainly would be a collapse of epic proportions if they were not able to pull it off, considering this is a team that was vying for the first seed with Louisville just a few weeks ago. Louisville's run away with it. Charlotte has just fallen apart. And who would have thought that we would be talking about Charlotte possibly falling to 6th?
Yeah, and the Rochester Rhinos getting a home game at 4. I mean, that's the crazy. Like you said, Capelli Stadium, it's so difficult to play there. And the last thing you want to do is put the Rhinos in the position, giving them even more confidence coming down the stretch. I don't care who you are. Louisville, Charleston, Tampa Bay, you do not want to go to that stadium. It's just such a storied establishment, and they've had so much success over the years there.
Charlotte's last game of the season is going to be next Saturday against the Charleston Battery, of all people. Ownby taken down. Just a professional foul from Charlotte. Lucas Pizzala going to go to his pocket, and a yellow card for Spees, who has just entered the playing field.
And again, I'm just kind of curious, you know, it's the 82nd minute of the match. David Spees just comes on. I think that's a professional foul. Nothing really terrible or malicious about what he was doing. Again, professional. Took him down in the middle of the field. Why do we show the yellow card? We're going to get another look here. Again, Brian Ownby has been a thorn in their side all night long, and just, I get it. You fouled him. Blow the whistle. Let's go. Let's move on.
Kyle Smith unable to keep that pass in play, but he's been directly involved in both goals. I mean, he technically did have the last touch on the second goal, and he initially set up Niall McCabe, who eventually had the assist. I guess we can give the hockey assist of sorts, if you will, to Kyle Smith on the first goal.
Yeah, I think Kyle Smith has definitely have to be in the conversation player of the game. I mean, he has put in an absolute tremendous amount of work ethic in on that right side. Up and down the pitch, in and out of spaces, great distribution, solid in the back defensively. And like you said, an integral piece on both of the goals.
Still plenty of time for Charlotte to try to find an equalizer, but I'm sure when you're playing, Devin, if you go down once but not twice in a game, it's very difficult to be able to sort of grind out that second equalizer. And then even further, if you're in Charlotte's shoes, you need to go for those 3 points.
I mean, it's frustrating enough in general having to come into a hostile environment like this, but like you said, you go down once, you fight back, you go down twice, now you got to pull yourself out and claw to that hole again. And if anyone's capable, Charlotte is, but what people don't realize is how much emotional impact it has on the body, because your psyche just continues to take these hits. It's almost like an abusive relationship, and it just keeps coming back, and sometimes you don't know what to do to make it better.
Lewis Hilton looked for the big switch over to Joel Johnson. It's a great ball over the head of Smith. Defensive header from Tosh. Stepping forward, however, is Callum Ross. Alex Martinez in the box. Great challenge from Abend to deny the shot. Still Martinez towards the back post, pinballing around the box, and Louisville eventually able to clear. Enzo Martinez. Certainly had a frustrating night for Charlotte so far. He's been shut down by the likes of Del Piccolo and the back line for Louisville, and in the middle of the park, Callum Ross with a great turn. Joel Johnson. Cutting back to his left, gets brought down, and it will be a foul. It's the second or third foul since Kyle Smith has been booked. And he certainly needs to be careful, along with a number of other Louisville players who are in Lucas Bazala's book.
Like you said, Kyle Smith sitting on that yellow card, and unfortunately, Louisville having to make a few tactical changes that is not going to enable them to bring most of those guys off the field. So they're gonna have to play the last 5 minutes here with most of their guys sitting on a yellow card. 4 on the pitch currently.
Well, another good opportunity from the free kick for Charlotte. Callum Ross sitting all by him, lonesome on the back post. Hilton, good ball in. Dobrovolsky comes with strong fists. And it'll eventually come out the other way. It looks like it was offside. Some discussion after the whistle. A little more than 5 minutes remaining plus stoppage time. Brian Omby's goal right now, the difference between these two great clubs, and if the score were to stand, it would just be 1 point between Rochester in 5th place and Charlotte in 4th. And of course, Louisville would take the regular season series between themselves and Charlotte. Of course, we all have to remember that Rochester do have a game in hand. They're going to make that game up on Tuesday. They have a real opportunity to create some separation and be able to host a playoff game in Western New York. Luke Spencer in some space, able to get away from the defender. Now it's just a matter if he has the pace. Luke Spencer shielding off Hilton. Spencer back onto his right, trying to send it across, but good defending from Henry Kalungi and company. It'll be a corner for Louisville.
Oh, Richie Ballard was streaking to the 6-yard box. What an effort by Luke Spencer. Unfortunately lost his footing in the middle of the pitch. Not sure how much the elements had to do with that. Again, regained his footing. I mean, how about the efforts from both of them? Unfortunately, weren't able to score there, but both Brian Ownby and Luke Spencer have no problem with confidence taking the entire backline on from Charlotte tonight.
Jimenez. Not many numbers forward for Louisville, given the score line. Ballard away from a couple defenders, sends it across. Kalungi had to deal with it once more.
Someone who's had a pretty quiet second half, Alex Martinez.
Both of the Martinez brothers have been kept in check. Tactical genius, I guess, from James O'Connor, able to bottle those two up. Certainly might come across them in the playoffs. Still some time left for an equalizer. Guy Bend finding Ownby, but Duckett able to clear it away. Nasty aerial challenge from Calvert. He's caught him with the elbow, and now Del Piccolo cramping up a little bit and getting some help from makeshift athletic trainer Guy Bend.
You can see Caleb Calvert having a conversation with the referee. What am I supposed to do? I'm going in with my shoulder. But I think Caleb Calvert, what happened there is you can see the cramping on the ground now. Calvert just brought that forearm a little bit too high and gained a little bit of an advantage in that 50-50 challenge.
Enzo Martinez continuing his plea with the head referee, as he has been for the entire 88 minutes and 43 seconds so far. Michael Craig over the top for Ownby. Ownby just killing some clock in the corner. Eventually triple team. Estrada will clear it away. Del Piccolo. Mizell will stay on his line. Ownby thought about the shot, got caught in between. Now Ownby laying it off. There's the shot. Oh, and it cracks off the post. Gaia Bend out of nowhere almost sealed the deal for Lou City. And Cody Mizell finally catches a break tonight.
Yeah, I think Brian Ownby might have got away with a little one there. Took a little positive touch off his hand in the box. The entire Charlotte Independence lobbying for a whistle.
Getting word now, we're gonna have 3 minutes of stoppage. Charlotte might not need it, they're on the move here. Comes out wide for Calvert. Calvert goes for goal again. There's the save from Dobrovolsky. Martinez, and it's just over the bar.
And very, very, very lucky Louisville is on that restart. Charlotte pushing numbers forward quick. We have not seen that quick fire opportunity from them for most of the game, yet alone in this second half. As you said, a few minutes left to try and get the equalizer. Let's see Calvert on the outside. Didn't get all of it. Martinez just leaning back a little bit, thought he was going to pick out that upper corner.
Not sure whether the Charlotte players were asking for a foul or maybe a deflection.
Yeah, I think they were definitely lobbying for a deflection. Unfortunately, Enzo, I just got a little bit underneath it. You could see the spin coming off of the ball as he shot it into the stands. Definitely not a deflection. And you're going to see Louisville try and play the fun little corner game that we've all grown to love over the years.
Savvy play at the back from Sean Tosh as Dobrovolsky able to pick it up. Calvert with a little bit of a love tap and a hey, how are you? And the mind games continue here at Slugger Field. Seems like they've been going on since the first minute or so. Kalungi around a couple of Lou City attackers. Ross with a positive touch forward. Charlotte need to get things moving here. Martinez taken down again. Charlotte probably would have liked to play advantage. Enzo Martinez needs to be careful here. He's all up in the referee's face, and now a yellow card for Ownby. And the two Beards are going toe-to-toe now.
And again, Louisville just need to keep their cool. You can see Gaia Bend in the background there having a few words. You're up 2-1 in the 93rd minute now. Do not play the mind game of the Martinez brothers. You would hate to see an unfortunate double yellow or a red card picked up this late in the game. And you can see Charlotte's going to try and give a last-ditch effort here as
well, taking so much time with the yellow card and setting up this free kick that it's probably going to be one of the last kicks of the game.
Looking for some good distribution from Lewis Hilton.
He's delivered some solid balls tonight. Needs a good one here. Not a bad ball towards the back post, headed down. And it's going to be a foul coming out the other way, and that might just do it for Lou City.
Louisville City substitution entering the match. Number 15, Sean Reynolds.
And Sean Reynolds going to come onto the scene here for the last couple of seconds, taking off Paolo Del Piccolo. And this substitution brought to you by Great Clips.
And James O'Connor reminding us that even in the 93rd minute, he's still got a few fun little tricks in the bag to help assist the timekeeper for the evening.
Another frustrating night for Charlotte, but another grinded out type of 3 points for Lou City. Well, Charlotte can somehow, some way find the back of the net. What are surely the last seconds of this one. Luke Spencer savvy enough to stand in front of the ball, not allow it to play quickly. Lewis Hilton all the way across, still could be on here for Charlotte. The header handled by Dobrovolsky. Falls on top of it. Charlotte pleading with the referee. And that's going to do it. Full time from Slugger Field. Lou City take the season series. Charlotte Independence winless in their last 5 as the gap continues to become narrower between themselves and the Rochester Rhinos. Another frustrating night for Mike Jeffrey's side. 3 more points for Lou City as they continue to be the top dogs in the Eastern Conference. Devin Curry, your thoughts?
I think it's a great testament to the character of this Louisville City squad and exactly the direction that they're headed in. And I think they're a force to be reckoned with as they continue to push forward, gaining another valuable 3 points. James O'Connor and his squad did not shy away from the challenge. And unfortunately, like you said, Charlotte 0 for 5, going home empty-handed once again.
Well, this was the initial equalizer from Calvert, but then it was Brian Omby who would settle the score here at Slugger Field. Final score from Louisville, 2-1 in favor of the Purples.
Box combo, please.
At Raising Cane's, we do one thing. We do it better than anyone else. So why not let our food do the talking? Love in the window. Raising Cane's, only the best chicken finger meals. One love.
Pizza, beer, sports. A great combination. Join other sports fans at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House in Louisville, where you'll find what Food Network says is the best pizza in Kentucky. Incredible game day and social hour specials starting at just $2. With an award-winning menu and one of City's best local craft beer lists. Just one bite, and we know you'll love it so much, you'll come back time and time again at Boomba's Pizza and Tap House, your social sports destination.
When my hair is too long, I don't feel right. But when I get a cut, I'm me again, only better. My tattoo gets feistier. My crazy eye snaps to attention. I become my own Wi-Fi hotspot.
I just downloaded the entire internet.
And trust falls? They don't even scare me anymore.
That pomade really broke my fall.
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Back here at Slugger Field, full time between Charlotte and Lou City. Lou City coming away with a 2-1 win, and this is tonight's save of the game, brought to you by Magna Wave, the leader in pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. And the save of the game coming from Cody Mizell, stopping the shot from Kyle Smith.
Yeah, in the first half, Cody Mizell was all over the map, keeping his squad active, asking his backline to get involved, and Kyle Smith looking to get in on the action. Little did he know that he was going to play an integral role in both of his team's goals to help get him 3 points and get a 2-1 victory.
Life is good here at Slugger Field for Lou City as the Purples, the Coopers, and all the supporters here at this fine establishment have just seen a great performance from start to finish from Louisville City. And we'll take a look at some of the best moments from the 90 minutes. And right off the bat, Lou City looked like they might break through. And again, here's that big save from Cody Mizell.
Yeah, they came out and they came out hot. Unfortunately, Luke Spencer didn't have the vision, didn't pick his head up. You're going to see there, looks to his left, everything's closed down. Fortunate deflection to the right for Kyle Smith, and just again a great save by Cody Mizell.
And the mistakes would continue to come at the back for Charlotte Independence. And Niall McCabe denied by Cody Mizell once more.
Well, and it seemed to be a theme for both squads where possession would start to increase and one good chance would come, but then the back lines would start to break down. And you're going to see the first goal here where Louisville takes advantage of the spacing on the left-hand side of that Charlotte defense. Ball played back into the center spot. George Davis IV just falls to him right on his doorstep, tries to go near post. I think Mizell might have had it covered. Takes the deflection into the bottom corner, 1-0 Louisville.
And then in the 66th, how about this from Caleb Calvert?
Caleb Calvert, what a ball played in from Jaime Siage. First off, then Caleb Calvert had not been on the pitch more than 5 or 6 minutes. Great ball played in, taken down off his chest, into stride, and just rockets one into the upper 90, and we were batting, nodded at 1.
And then just a few minutes later, it was Lou City answering, and it took a little deflection off of Kyle Smith, but Ownby will claim that goal.
So Ownby initially plays this ball to the back post. No one's there. Kyle Smith actually wasn't there. Luke Spencer does a great job tracking it back, and I initially thought that that ball was going to go into the far post. by Louisville. It took a great deflection, ended up going up 2-1, gained a valuable 3 points.
And here are the live Eastern Conference standings now, and as you can see, Rochester with a game in hand on Charlotte, 1 point behind them now. Now if you're Charlotte, you have to get 3 points, and you have to hope that Rochester tripped up along the way.
Well, and just an absolute barn burner of a game with Red Bulls 2 and OCB tonight, finishing that one at 6-5. And that is not a typo, ladies and gentlemen. 6-5. I will say it again in case you didn't hear me. And again, you know, unfortunately, Charlotte, they're slipping, they're falling, they can't get up. They're not really sure what they're going to do. Battery, solid win. Louisville City, solid win. And just feel like some teams are starting to click at the right point in time. Rochester, who hopes to be on the fortunate end of Charlotte's misfortunes.
Well, Lou City has really been a team that's been clicking all season long, and it's just starting to pay dividends now. Regular season Eastern Conference champions, and it's all smiles here at Slugger Field as they continue their dominance of the Eastern Conference and looking to stay in form heading into the playoffs. And again, it was Brian Omby / Kyle Smith who were able to get the game-winning goal, and Louisville City's next match is going to be against the Richmond Kickers on October 14th. For Charlotte, same deal on next Saturday. This time it'll be against the Charleston Battery as they continue their search of a home playoff match. For my broadcast partner, Devin Kerr, I'm Tyler Terran saying so long for now. Final score from Slugger, 2-1 in favor of Lou City. Thanks for tuning in, folks.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.